Nobody likes to be broke, but getting rich seems like an incredibly difficult task. We aren't really taught anything about money and personal finance at school, not to mention entrepreneurship, so it's no surprise that most people don't take the best care of their financial situation. With this video, I hope to simplify the concept of personal finance and wealth building to the point where it becomes almost too simple, by giving you 3 down-to-earth steps that everyone can take to become better with their money. And because I'm not trying to be in the business of wasting your time, they are spend less, earn more, and invest the difference. So if that's enough for you, thanks for watching, but if you want to hear a little more about these concepts, let's get right into it. Spend less. A lot of financial experts will tell you to cut radically on your expenses, but for most that will be unsustainable, and unsustainable habits don't last very long, which means they're not really effective. Spending less is not about becoming homeless, but maybe finding a slightly smaller apartment and paying half your current rent. It's not about not going on trips whatsoever, but finding cheaper flights. It's not about not buying sweets at all, it's about stealing them from your siblings. Frugality is living the lifestyle you want, just in the most affordable way possible. It's about stretching the dollar to its fullest potential. I think it all comes down to just purchasing with intention. My suggestions are simple. Don't buy crap you don't need. Whenever you feel like buying something that would make a dent in your savings, give it 24 hours. And whenever you feel like purchasing something seemingly insignificant, ask yourself if you really want this and if you wouldn't be just fine without it. It's not about never buying things you want, but just not buying the things that you can do without. Track your expenses. This is just a really great way to be a little bit more intentional with your spendings and think a little more when you're trying to give your money away. Don't overpay. Know what things are worth and be wary of the overpriced. There's a good chance that whatever you're trying to buy, there is a cheaper alternative. But remember, the cheaper does not always mean better. I would much rather buy something more expensive that would last me longer than something cheap and tacky that would end up in a bin in just a few weeks. It's also good to automatically allocate a part of your monthly income into a savings account. This way you can worry less about spending less and still be doing it. Earn more. This is where the real magic happens. Making your lattes at home instead of buying them at Starbucks can get you started, and it's a pretty good habit in my personal view, but it won't make you rich. Ultimately, if you want to build your wealth quicker, you have to earn more money. Here's how you can do that. Negotiate your salary or get a better paying job. Being self-employed, I don't have too much experience in this, and I highly recommend listening to Ramit Sethi, for example. I have negotiated project rates with my clients in the past, but that's a slightly different process. Nonetheless, in order to be paid more, you must bring in more value. So hone your craft, learn new skills, ask what you can do to be a better employee, know your worth, be confident, and be genuine. Start a side hustle, i.e. a second source of income. Now, this I know a few things about, and the same principle applies here. You need to bring in value to people's lives. Whether you're entertaining them on YouTube or teaching them English via Zoom, you need to provide them something they'll be willing to pay you for. To do that, you usually need to build some kind of a valuable skill. You can do things that don't require any rocket science expertise like lawn mowing, but these usually won't bring you as much side hustle money as wedding photography or graphic design, for example. Try building a source of passive income. That's a very catchy phrase, and it's difficult for me to give you an idea of a passive income source that will work for you. You just need to think what you're good at and figure out if there is any way to monetize it passively. For me, that could be selling my videos or photos on stock websites, and for you, I don't know, writing an ebook or selling a course. This one is very individual. Earning more has one very significant caveat though. Once we see that bump in our bank account, we feel entitled to our reward. So we get a new jacket, we spend more eating out, we buy our own sweets. This is called lifestyle inflation. I think it's fine to treat yourself after a big success like raising your earnings, but keep the first step in mind. The key is to be saving more than you did before, and the more radical you're with this, the quicker you'll build your wealth. Invest the difference. Alright, here comes the complicated part, and for precisely that reason, as well as the fact that I'm not really an expert, I am not going to talk about the technicalities of investing in this video. Instead, what I want to talk about is the general concept and the mindset that it entails. You see, investing is simply trying to do something more with your money than just save it. It's trying to use it as a tool, to leverage it to make more money. And that's genuinely the essence of what investing is all about. Using money to make more money. Before you start investing though, make sure to first have an emergency fund saved up. Preferably a few months of living expenses. Shit really does happen, so it's better to be prepared for the inevitable. Second step is to pay off high interest debt if you have any. Once you've done that, boring as it may seem, I highly recommend you just reinvest your money into what made you the money in the first place. I think it's the best way to get high return on investment when you're just starting out. For example, if you're a video editor, you could buy a computer that won't crash every time you try to color grade your footage. This way, you'll be able to edit faster, which in turn will allow you to take on more work, which will result in more money. If you want to step up the game, however, I'd say the next step is to put your money into a reliable index fund, like the possibly most popular amongst productivity YouTubers, S&P 500, which basically tracks the top 500 companies on the United States stock market. It has a historic average annual return of about 10%, which is way better than the interest on most savings accounts. But keep in mind that this is a long-term game. I'm actually about to make a first investment like that, so keep an eye out on a video about what I'll have learned. So there you have it, the 3 steps to wealth building. Spend less, earn more, invest the difference. As simple as that. But before I'll dismiss this class, I'd just like to add one more thing. In the pursuit of wealth, make sure to be clear on your why. Why is it that you want to get rich? What would you do with your money? What does your rich lifestyle look like? Some of these tips might work for you and some of these might not. And getting clear on your financial vision will help you determine which ones are which. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye.